Welcome to Monday Momentum on Communicate to Lead. I'm Kele Belton, and if you're a woman in leadership ready to step into your full potential, you are in the right place. Today, we're talking about one small habit that shapes how confident you sound in every meeting, every presentation, and every high-stakes conversation you walk into. Imagine you're in a meeting and someone asks you a question. You know the answer. You have a strong point of view. And as you start speaking, you hear it happen and you hear yourself say, I think one option we could look at is going with the second vendor. By the time you get to your actual point, the room has already formed an impression, and it isn't the impression you wanted. Here's what you need to know. The filler words aren't even the real problem. They are the symptom. And once you understand what they're actually covering for, you can replace them with something that makes you sound like the leader you already are. Here's what I hear when I work with women leaders on their delivery. They think their filler words are a vocabulary problem or a nervousness problem or a habit they picked up somewhere and can't shake. So they try to eliminate the words through sheer willpower. They tell themselves, stop saying And it never works, of course, because they are treating the symptom instead of the cause. The real cause is discomfort with silence. Filler words show up in the space where your brain is still catching up to your mouth. You start a sentence before you finish forming the thought, and the or the fills the gap so you don't have to sit in the silence while you are thinking. Here's the reframe. That silence you are rushing to fill is the most powerful tool you have. A leader who uses pauses intentionally sounds deliberate. A leader who fills every gap with or sounds uncertain, even when she knows exactly what she's talking about. The pause works because of what it signals. When you pause before you answer, you communicate that your response is worth considering. You're not scrambling to fill the air. You are choosing your words intentionally, and that choice reads as authority. That pause also works because of what it does for you. It gives your brain the seconds it needs to form the complete thought before you start speaking, which means when you do speak, you lead with your point instead of talking your way towards it. The strategy is to replace the filler with a pause. Here's how it works in practice. The next time someone asks you a question, do not start talking right away. Instead, take one full breath. That breath is your pause. It might feel long to you, but to everyone else listening, it reads as confidence. Then, when you are ready to speak, lead with your answer. Not the wind up, not the throat clearing, the answer. So instead of, I think one option we could look at is going with a second vendor. You say, after a full breath, we should go with a second vendor. Then you explain why. The breath does two things at once. It removes the space where the filler used to live, and it gives you the moment you need to find your first clear sentence. You're not eliminating ums or uhs by force. You are replacing them with something stronger. So before your action step, here's the whole strategy. When someone asks you a question, take one full deep breath before you answer. Let the silence do the work. Then go ahead and lead with your point. This week, pick one meeting and practice the pause. When someone asks you for something, take a full deep breath before you respond. One breath, then lead with your answer. You'll feel the silence more than anyone else in the room does, and you'll notice something shift in how you show up in meetings. If Monday Momentum is giving you strategies you can use right now, follow the show so you never miss an episode. And if you're ready to stop navigating your leadership growth alone, book a leadership strategy call. The link is in the show notes. Let's talk about where you are, where you want to go, and what it will take to get you there. Remember, the pause isn't empty space. It's where your authority lives. That's your Monday Momentum, my friend. I'll see you on Thursday. Trust your voice and lead with confidence.